If you find yourself addicted to porn, watch this video until the very end because we have a very vulnerable share. And we're both going to share with you our stories about porn addiction in our lives and ultimately how we became free of it and how you can too. Last night we had an incredible ayahuasca ceremony in this beautiful, magical land of Peru. And I was seeing my own relationship with porn, and this has been something in my life that I've been working to let go of for so long. And it was shown to me how important it is to share about this and to be public about this as a part of my healing and to support so many others who are going through this. And at the end of the ceremony, this amazing brother, Cameron here, shared how he was also working at letting go of porn addiction and the parasite and the energies that attach themselves to us through these addictions. Because it's such a real addiction, even though it's not a drug or something that we take externally, it is something that is actually the biggest addiction in the world that is creating the biggest challenges for us as young men in the world. One of the biggest problems now for young men is premature ejaculation and even impotence at a young age of in the early 20s even. So I just want to ask you and open the floor for you to share, brother, about your story with porn addiction.
My story starts at a young age, being 10 or 11, easily sucked in to pornography, and it led me down a road throughout the years of depression, shame, guilt, fear, disconnection, social anxiety. It was always looking for this outside source of gratification without finding the peace within myself. And last night in ceremony, Mother Ayahuasca guided my hand to my bucket and said, "Cameron, you need to let go of this parasite that has formed and fed off of your lower vibrations through fear, lust." And it was very freeing, and I am eternally grateful to her for allowing me to purge that. And my brother Trinity here came up in ceremony to speak with him further, because I wouldn't be here in this beautiful sacred land in the sacred valley if it wasn't for Trinity. So for those of you watching here now that have faced problems with addiction, know that you are not alone, and that El Camino Sagrado Ayahuasca Healings is the most special place that I have ever been, and that is from the bottom of my heart. This is a place of healing, love, and transformation, and I have already felt it in my short time here.
Thank you, brother. There's more information in the link in the description, but right now I want to share about how porn addiction is created in our lives. We grow up in a society and a culture that is over-sexualized, that is at the same time over-sexualized, there's so much shame and guilt around sexuality. We are sold sexuality in so many ways, thinking, and we create these beliefs that sexuality, especially as men, is what's going to make us happy. That having multiple partners and having threesomes and having these porn-induced fetishes that are created through the constant repetition of porn is so damaging to ourselves, our psyche, our own relationship with our worth and our belief about ourselves, and most importantly, the relationships that we can have. Personally, I was married and divorced in 2012 for less than 6 months. And, it's such a vulnerable share, but the very reason that that divorce happened was because of my unconsciousness with sexuality, was because of my addiction to porn. I was, you know, struggling with premature ejaculation because of all the repetition with porn that creates. And as a result, I was pointing the finger and blaming or projecting my own shortcomings on my partner, saying that there were problems with her sexuality, why I was not performing well enough. Does that make sense? Like, and it, after that divorce and after that, it brought up so much pain and so much of my relationship with my father and what he taught me about it's okay to have more than one woman as long as they don't know, for example. Or just the unconsciousness of expecting sexuality from my partner and not treating it as that sacred, truly sacred act that it is. Because we have so much power in our sexuality to create anything that we want. And if we don't learn to harness that, it's just going to leak. It's just going to be sucked out of us by these literally energetic, like parasites and spirits that feed off of these addictions that we have. And we cannot step into our highest potential, our highest truth, our highest purpose if we have porn addiction in our lives. Because we're leaking the very strength of our energy. The strongest energy that we have is just like a bucket with a hole in it. Does that make sense? Add to that, brother.
This has affected me in my life, in my personal relationship with my beautiful girlfriend, Abby. And it has come to a point where she is affected by it as well. We need to remember that our addictions don't just affect us personally, they affect others around us. And porn addiction releases dopamine in our brains and becomes similar to a drug addiction. Where I have found a way to work through this is finding connection within ourselves, within nature, the sacred feminine, Pachamama as they call it here in Peru. And the addiction will fall out of your life if you focus on finding connection to true beings that are here to help you, and true, just truth within yourself.
And I really feel like, everything happens for a reason, right? And we experience porn addiction because it's here to teach us what true sexuality is about. The true, portal into presence, into connection and union that is so ineffable, so beyond any words or labels that we can experience with the feminine, and this is something that we rob ourselves of when we continuously come back to porn. It affects us in more ways than we even realize. And in my ceremony last night, it really showed me, ayahuasca is this medicine that allows us to basically disconnect from our bodies. It creates almost a near-death experience or out-of-body experience, and we can watch ourselves from a third-person perspective. And in doing so, it can bring so much healing to our past, to the pains that we have where these addictions were created. And a part of addiction is about masking or almost putting a band-aid over the deeper wounds or the deeper pains that we have because it just feels good in that moment. But the medicine, ayahuasca, this sacred medicine from the jungle of Peru, is so powerful to help us go back to our childhood, go back to the experiences that we've long forgotten, and bring awareness to them, bring healing to them, and see them in a completely new perspective. And as a result, change how we interact with with life and the world today. Does that make sense? It's something that is so profound and powerful beyond words that's hard to explain until you experience it yourself. But this medicine can truly help us let go of the patterns. Porn addiction is just one of them. There's so many that we have of like how we interact with other people, how we interact with ourselves, the addiction to thought, the addiction to doing, the difficulty that we have to just be, the technology addiction. There's so many things that we have that stop us from living our highest truth. And the medicine helps us to see this and layer by layer peel them away. One of my teachers shares with me that truth and ayahuasca is about peeling away the layers of all that we are not, all the programming that we've received from our parents and society. And as we peel away layer and layer, we become more true to who we really are. And as a result, we can step into who we're really here to be for ourselves and the world. Anything else you want to share, brother?
And this is what it is to be reborn again, is to transcend our lower nature into the higher nature and get in touch, in connection, that we are all connected, we are all one in this life. And to forgive. Mother Ayahuasca told me, Cameron, forgive yourself for your past. Let it go. And create a new way of being to come through and flow through yourself, the infinite creation that is seen in all.
Thank you for sharing that. That piece is so big. Forgiveness. There is so much shame and guilt that we have about these addictions, especially porn addiction. It's not like we go and tell anybody that we find on the street, yeah, I'm addicted to porn, because it's something that's so vulnerable and difficult to face within ourselves. But this is the first step to our healing, which is to accept that this has been our past and this has been with us, and to understand too, these forces that are at play are the culprits of this. We grew up in this world where, within 10 seconds, and now there's just pop-ups of this temptation that's like drawing you into this rabbit hole that takes us into such darkness and controls us through our sexual energy. It's okay. First and foremost, forgive yourself. Let yourself feel that shame and that guilt, and let that go through being able to sit with that. Rather than feeling that shame and guilt and then pushing it away when it comes, feel it fully. And that right there is one of the most powerful tools that you have to let go of any emotion. Does that make sense? And that's why this medicine is so powerful, because it helps us to fully accept ourselves, fully love ourselves for our past, for what we've done, for the people we've hurt, and for what we're struggling with and what we're learning. So thank you so much for watching this video, and click the link in the description to learn more about ayahuasca, learn more about this healing path that, people say it's like 10 years of therapy in a single night, because it allows us to experience things that we just can't do without medicine, or it just takes a lot of work. Does that make sense? Anything you want to share, brother?
I just wanted to thank Trinity for having me on and allowing me an opportunity to share my message and let you know that you're not alone. Pain is your teacher. Embrace your darkness. You need that. As Carl Jung says, transmute the darkness into light.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll see you in the next video, and with so much love. Thank you.